CBS, LSU at Alabama. Bama favored by 3 points. Let's just acknowledge something off the bat. This one's kind of impossible to predict, yeah?
I mean, if you're you.
Oh my gosh.
Why do you see it as being impossible? Because of Alabama offensive inconsistencies and LSU's absence of defense against quality teams?
Every model, every number I looked up had this one as a virtual dead heat. And so from that standpoint, I think it makes it hard. I would say the fact that this game is going on at the same time as Washington USC makes for an incredible night of football. We're gonna do the live stream at midnight, and we're gonna be jazzed up from not just these games, but some of the others going on at night as well. It's a great day of college football. It's a great evening of college football. I think this is the headlining matchup for college football week 10, frankly.
Okay.
Because you've got the LSU offense against the Bama defense, which is the two relative strengths of either team. You've got Jayden Daniels, who might be the best player in college football, going up against a Bama defense. That in and of itself is worth the price of admission. Very much looking forward to that. My theory, though, is that this is going to be won and lost on the other side of the ball. It's not going to be the strength on strength thing that everybody's focused in on. My theory is that it's Jalen Milroe against the LSU secondary in this game, and that's what decides the ultimate outcome.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's honestly, more specifically to that, I think it's probably a struggling Alabama offensive line against LSU up front, which has been inconsistent, but still has playmakers, and they're beat up now. I still like, if you're going to say, you can give me an Alabama defense that has been performing on a high level, giving only 3.5.
I got 3, man. It's 3.
3.5. Sorry, 3 points. If you're giving 3 points with Alabama's defense at home, with Alabama improving, not necessarily scoring a ton in second halves, but nonetheless, with Alabama's offense still popping big plays against okay defenses, and LSU's defense is very much not okay, right? They're sort of in a My Chemical Romance situation. They're not okay, I promise. I'm taking Alabama here. This is me underthinking once again. I'm taking Alabama's defense at home in a night spot let's call it it's a rivalry. It's a huge game every year, no matter what the records are. And so I'm going Bama here. I think they can connect 3 to 4 times downfield, and I think they can stop, an emerging, Logan Diggs has been very good on the ground to make this a nicely balanced LSU offense. I'm not there. Even with LSU beating a better Bama team last year at LSU, I just don't think the Tiger defense is where it needs to be to win the game this year. So
okay,
I'm taking Bama here.
So look, if you've watched or listened to our show, other shows, if you watch any of the games, LSU's defense has objectively been a mess.
Yeah.
That's not new territory, not new news we're breaking on this show. The big moment, though, was at the end of the first half of the Army game 2 weeks ago, because that's when Zy Alexander went down with an ankle. Who's Zy Alexander? Zy Alexander is a transfer who has been LSU's most reliable corner so far this season, and he's not going to play in this Bama game. That only makes matters way worse for Brian Kelly and the secondary for LSU. Brian Kelly knew coming into this season that the secondary was going to be a problem. That's why he went out and he brought in 4 transfers, including Zy Alexander. He brought in J.K. Johnson, Denver Harris, Deuce Chestnut. All 4 of those guys are either inactive or injured. So none of them are playing. What that means for the LSU secondary is that their top 2 corners against Alabama this week are Sage Ryan, who's sort of like the Mike Gallego of the secondary. They just move him around and plug him
Timely reference time.
Yeah, no, thank you. They move him around. They plug him in wherever they need to. He's played safety. He's played nickel corner. Now he's going to be the number 1 corner. He's done okay as the primary guy, and I think he knows where he's supposed to be. But, okay, he's your number 1. That means your number 2 is Ashton Stamps, a true freshman with 1 start who's also been nicked up. If one of those guys comes out for a breather, or if Alabama goes 5 wide, the next guys up have virtually no experience. Jeremiah Hughes, true freshman, LaTerrence Welch, a sophomore who hasn't played much. I could go down the list, but you get the point.
Right.
You get my point. I think that's a huge problem in this game because Bama, favorite stat, averages 13 air yards a pass. Jalen Milroe, he's not doing the 3-yard pop pass. That's not what his offense looks like. It's
Right.
either a handoff or F it, we're going deep.
Yeah.
That is this offense right now with where it's at. So you can understand how that puts a lot of strain on the LSU defense. It puts them in a box. You can't overcommit to the run because you've got an inexperienced secondary that might be overmatched. You've also got the situation where you can't overcommit to a pass because Bama would just love to run it 50 times if you let them. And that's a dilemma.
But they haven't been running it
They
crazy
haven't.
well. Yeah.
They haven't, but that's a dilemma. And if I can see it, Nick Saban can see it. Tommy Rees can see it. So I will say, to your point, the Bama offense has been annoyingly inconsistent this season. It is by no means a juggernaut like we've seen in years past. I just don't think LSU has the answer for that problem in the secondary.
Right.
I don't think they can solve that. In the end, Jayden Daniels is going to get his. He'll put on a cape. He'll keep them in it. But I think Bama wins. I think Bama covers. I think it's a high-scoring game. It's a lot of fun, 37-30.
I agree. I fully agree. They've played look at the teams that they've played with pretty good defenses. Florida State, big loss. Arkansas, near loss. Ole Miss, loss. Mizzou, near loss, got that pick 6 at the end, still gave up 40. And so I just don't think you can trust a half team like this in Tuscaloosa. So I'm going Bama here.